Yes, welcome to this new video, and if you think that this is another how to find a winning product video, you're completely wrong, because in this video I break down the exact framework we use with our students to build a store from absolutely zero, from scratch, to 100k plus per month. And this is not by testing 5 random products a day, this is building a store with the intention to being able to build it out into a real brand. So this is no guesswork, this is not a standard YouTube strategy, this is the actual framework we use with our students. So pay attention, take pen and paper, and make sure you write down everything, because at the end of this video you will be absolutely able to do the research yourself, build out the store yourself, and with the other videos on this channel you're able to eventually scale the store to 100k per month and even further. I would say let's not waste more time and let's dive into my screen where I'm completely explaining the framework step by step. First of all, before we start, I want to take you to the student results to actually prove that this is not some yapping I'm doing here. This is actually working for our students. As you can see, Teun with a 10k day, 2 months since he started. When he started with us, he was on 1 or 2k break-even days, and we built a brand with him to 10k days profitably, consistently. Then we have Sion, 12k a day, eventually he did a 200k plus month with us, with over 70k of profit in 1 month, and we built this store completely from scratch with him. Then we have Jin, 145k per month, 8k per day, as you can see, really good results as well, had absolutely no ecom experience, just like Sion. Then we have Marvin with a 1.2k day on his 3rd day in ecom actually, so really great results for him as well, starting well. Then we have Jeffrey, and he has a 20k day, one of our best students, completely started from scratch. He had some fashion dropshipping experience, was tired of that, and started with us with a brand, and as you can see, worked out really well, because eventually he did a 300k day, as you can see here, with a very good profit margin, completely changed his life. Then we have here Xander, who is doing 2k days, very hard worker, also getting some momentum right now and scaling up as we speak. Then we have Dario, 3.8k day, Gijs with a big order, 1.8k in just one order from one customer on his store. That's the power of branding. And here, to show you that I also have some experience, we did about 16k profit in just 2 days in the weekend. So let's not waste more time on the student results. I hope you believe now that this is worth watching it, because this is actual value we implement ourselves, but also with our students. Let's start with step 1. To begin with, we have here the VE market research sheet. And as you can see, we have a lot of columns in here. What we do in these columns is we fill in each column for each brand we find on the internet. So we get all the information we need to make eventually the best decision on which store, which niche to choose to start our brand in, okay? If you want to receive this sheet, send me a DM on Instagram with the word research to receive the sheet as soon as possible. This is my Instagram. If you don't follow me yet, start following me, because I'm also sharing a lot of value in my Instagram story. Next to that is just not a normal sheet, because as you can see here, we have the keywords tab and also the strategy tab, where the whole strategy is explained as well. Then we have step 2, and here you're going to use the keywords which you can find here in the sheet in tab 2. So what you do here is you start searching in the Facebook ad library with these keywords. One of these keywords, for example, is /pages/listicle, as you can see. And by doing this, we found this example brand. And I'm going to use this example brand during this whole video so you understand, and there's one consistent line in it, so it's more clear for you to explain. We find this brand down to ground. And this is a brand that sells, like, for example, bed sheets to ground better, but also like other products to eventually being able to ground better, and grounding comes with some health benefits. So they are also talking a lot about that in their ads. And as you can see, you open the Meta Ads library and you search just on the different keywords. Many keywords are listed in the sheet, as I said, but other examples are /prelender1, pages/listicle/editorial, for example. And if you want to have more, just send me a DM with the research word and we will send you the sheet with all the keywords we use. Next to that, you can also use ChatGPT or any other AI tool to just find more words to fill into the Meta Ads library. So that's also a way. What you can do, for example, is when you find a brand, you can also take mood, for example, as a keyword and search on that. So you find even more niches, brands in that niche, or other brands, other niches eventually. Just check what is in the ad copies and fill in those words, and like that you can search more and more for even more brands. Okay, then we have step 3, and if you find eventually a store, you're going to focus on this store for all the steps I'm going to explain now. Okay, so you don't switch between stores or brands or whatever. You stay in the same store, same brand, and same niche. What you do then is you type in URL here in the search bar in Meta Ads Library again, and you find all their ads. As you can see, this brand is very active with 1,300 results. So it has to have more than 75 ads live. That's a requirement we have for ourselves. So if it's less than 75 ads, it's probably not scaling. This one is 1,300 ads, so that's a very good sign. Then we go to step 4. And in step 4, we do something different. Because what we do here is we check in which countries the site is active in. So what you do is here in Meta Ads Library, you go to this filter and you filter first on, for example, United States, and you see 1,100 results. So probably out of those 1,300, they run the most in the United States. Then Canada, 97, then for example, United Kingdom, 52, and Australia, 76, and New Zealand, none. So then you know that they're focusing on the big 5 as well, but most of the ads are being run in the USA, which is normal because it's the biggest market and the best for ecom in general. All right. Then you can see like, okay, are they active in the big 5? Then you have probably your opportunity in the EU. So then you can do EU market research. Are there a lot of competitors, etc. Just by Meta Ads Library as well. Are they active in the EU? Then there's an opportunity in the big 5 probably. So you check, is there already a lot of competition in the big 5? And even if there's a lot of competition in the big 5, don't let it shock you like, okay, I cannot start here anymore, because of course the big 5 is so big. There's enough market for everyone. There are so many people living there in the big 5 and also in the USA mostly. So don't get demotivated by that, because there's always space. If there's competition, you just need to make sure you're better than them and that you do some creative things and think out of the box to eventually being able to take a part of the pie. Okay, then what you can do here is step 5. What we do in step 5 is we go to Trustpilot. So we literally type in the URL of the brand in Trustpilot and we check their reviews. You can also check the review summary, the total score, but next to that we check the Trustpilot page, like how many good reviews are there and how many are the reviews actually recent. So you can see when the reviews are placed, and you need recent reviews. 75 plus reviews and recent reviews is good. Then it's like qualified for the sheet, for the research, okay? But check also the score. If the score is below 2.5, you need to check what is the reason. You need to check it anyway, by the way. Because if you see that there are a lot of bad reviews about the product, then you should think twice before selling this as a brand, as a product. Also check other brands in the same niche. And if it's like one pattern you see in all brands of all niches, then you first should check if you can do some improvements to the product, because you don't want to sell for your future brand shit products, because you directly fuck it up for the store. So I would never do that. I will always make sure that you first check if the quality is acceptable. So make sure that you check if there's space for improvement. Maybe you can upgrade the product a bit. Maybe you can get a better quality version of the product directly, which is already existing. So do a bit more research about that before launching. If the bad reviews are mostly about the service, then it's not a big problem, because then you know like, okay, I can improve that. I just put a good customer service team. I talk with my supplier to shorten the delivery time by maybe some ways of other delivery, of other couriers, etc. So make sure you check why are there bad reviews. You can also use, for example, ChatGPT Agent or Cloud AI to just do an analysis of the Trustpilot page and then just type in like, tell me why there are mostly bad reviews, what are they about, etc., etc. So you don't need to spit through them all yourself. Okay, step 6. What we do here is we go to the same Meta Ad Library again and we put impressions high to low. Okay, and then we expand all ad copies and take screenshots of at least 8 ads, then paste them into ChatGPT with this prompt. So the prompt we use is this prompt, and I will put it in the description of this video so you don't need to type it over yourself. Next to that, you add all the screenshots of at least 8 ads, but if you can do more, because the more you do, the better the result, obviously. And then we get this out of ChatGPT. We see a pattern, okay? We see the same benefit bundle everywhere. Sleep plus energy / mood plus inflammation / pain shows up repeatedly. So that's a pattern we see. And this is like a sales tactic of this brand, and we put that in the sheet again. So as you can see, I'm just filling in all the columns in this video, and I'm just explaining you how to gather the information for each column. Okay? Then we have step 7. And step 7 is also a very interesting one, because what we do here is we filter the dates in Meta Ad Library to 10 days ago. Okay? Then we know, like, okay, we check the most active ads, or not the most, we check the total amount of active ads until 10 days ago, and we see 1,200. That means that in total 1,300 minus 1,200 is 100 active ads added in the last 10 days, okay? And when you have 7, it's good. We have 100, so it's really good. So that means that this brand has a very big creative output and is scaling a lot. Then we have step 8. And step 8 is going to Reddit. Why Reddit? Because Reddit is a platform where people can give their opinion or ask their questions anonymously. So they are more real about what they actually feel and what they actually want to share with people or want to ask. Because they are not like visible with their own name, own profile picture, etc., etc. They can just ask whatever they want. They don't need to be ashamed or whatever. So here you see the real opinions and the real feelings from people about certain products. So what we do is we put in the product, down to ground mattress cover, and people are actually talking about it. As you can see, 6 months ago, 388 comments and 51 votes. So that is a topic that is spoken a lot about. And what you can do here, you click on the comments and you just analyze all the comments. Recent posts with comments is a good sign because that means that there's being talked about the product recently and it's currently in the interest of a lot of people, right? So what you can do then is also copy and paste the link in the sheet and then you have that information as well for this brand. What you can do next to that is, if you're eventually starting this brand, you can use all these comments, but also on Amazon, also on reviews. Amazon, I'm going to talk about it in the next step, but also reviews on Trustpilot, also from competition. Gather all that information, upload it in your own project in ChatGPT or Cloud, make a project for this specific brand or store, and your AI tool literally knows everything about your ICP. So I can tell you more about it in a different video, but that is one of the things we do as well. So you upload, you literally feed your AI tool with all information, because in these reviews there are a lot of objections, there are a lot of desires of your ICP about the product. So you actually know directly what your ICP really wants, right? So that's a very good way to discover. Then we go to step 9, and there you go to Amazon. You search for the product on Amazon, filter by bestsellers, and choose the product with the most reviews. Then you copy the customer review summary and paste it in the sheet. So here you can see like a general AI generated review from all the reviews together. And that's also very valuable because you know in general what people think about the product. And this is also something you want to put in the sheet. So you can later, when you have found all the niches, all the brands, you can literally go fast to it and make your decision on information based, not on feeling based. And that's very important in Ecom. Always make your decisions like to the numbers. It's a numbers game. Don't attach too many emotions to it. And by gathering all this information about so many niches and brands, eventually when you have collected everything, you can go through the sheet and make a well-informed decision. Okay, then step 10 is just repeating these steps until you have found at least 10 different niches. So in the sheet you upload at least 10 different niches, not 10 different brands, but 10 different niches. When you did that, you select the 3 best niches and find 3 competitors for each, 3 or more. The more, the better, of course. And you fill them also fully in the sheet. What you can do for this to check more competition brands is just go to the Trustpilot page and go to people also looked at, like the recommendations, kind of. And here you see, as you can see, a lot of other brands that are just like the brand we found, okay? So you have here already 3+ competition, as you can see, with a lot of reviews as well. So these are actual competitors, not people that are just starting out. So this is really easy to get more competition stores for your found niche, okay? So that's something I would recommend. And if you find it difficult how to select the 3 best niches, go to my other video. I will also link it in the description, where I'm talking more about the product criteria and where you need to look at, also diving more deep into the reviews, etc., how you can make this decision the best between all the 10 niches to pick the 3 best niches. Finally, you choose one niche to start with. Don't start with directly 2 or 3 niches. Don't make it yourself harder than it's needed. Make sure you make a well-informed decision and then start with one niche, test it out, and check eventually how the stats are, what you can improve, and if it doesn't work out for a longer period of time and you already run a lot of ad spend, what can happen, of course, you hop to the next niche, because the thing is, if you act fast, which is always needed in Ecom, you have always here multiple niches ready to start with after that, so you don't need to do this process over and over again. That's the good thing about gathering all this data Of course, when you started 1 or 2 years later, you don't want to do that, but if you're recently starting a new niche, you can always use your earlier research sheet. Alright, that's it. First, before you go, check out the community, because this is a community where you can literally ask all your questions related to your journey, to your ecom journey. We have multiple Q&A calls per week. I'm also in there. You can ask all your questions you have to me. We have our whole network added in there with all the plugs we use for our ecom business, whether it's a agency ad accounts, whether it's a supplier, whether it's the developers, doesn't matter. Literally everything is in there. We're not only talking about ecom, we're also talking about health, about the gym, etc. because this ecom community is made for leveling up. Alright, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me on Instagram or in the comments down below. Make sure you send me a DM with research to receive the actual sheet, because with the sheet you can literally do this whole framework. Also important for the keywords, which are put here, and for the strategy, once more explained in the third tab. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.